So in the previous tutorial, I've shown you how to add submodule into the central repository. So I have added a library 1 submodule and also the library 2 submodule, and the central repository is tracking this particular commit for library 1 and this particular commit for the library 2. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to clone the central repository as well as its submodule into the local directory. Okay, so right now I'm going to go to this directory, and then I'm going to use this command git clone the central repository, and you clone the central repository into the local. Okay, so I'm going to change the directory central. So right now you can see that library 1 and library 2, these two folder is here, and also the .git module file as well. So but if you go into this library 1, you can see that the folder is actually empty, and library 2 as well, the folder is actually empty, and it just clone the folder into this central repository, but the content inside is not being cloned. Okay, so right now in order to clone the library 1 and library 2 repository into the local, you can use this command. So first you have to use a git sub module init to initialize the local configuration file. Okay, so if you go to .git and then go to this config, I'm going to open in a notepad, and you can see that these are the only content inside the config file. Okay, so right now let's say if you do a git sub module init, this will initialize this config file. Okay, it will tell the config file about the sub module. Okay, so I'm going to do this command, and you can see it says that the sub module library 1 with this path is registered for the path lib1. Right now it's registered for this path, the information about sub module, and also for the library 2 as well. And right now if you go to this config file, you can see that these two sub module is being registered into this config file, and you can see it says that the active right now is true, and these are the information about the submodule in your config file. Okay, so once you have initialized the local configuration file, you can fetch all the data from the submodule into each of the local file folder. Okay, so I'm going to do a git submodule update. So you can see this command will clone the content from the remote repository into the library 1 and library 2, and also it will check out a specific commit for library 1 and library 2. Alright, so if you go back to library 1 and you see the repository is here, and also for the library 2, the repository is here as well. So you can see you need 3 commands in order to clone the central repository, as well as to initialize the local configuration file, as well as to fetch all the data from the submodule. Actually, you can use only one command, which is this one, in order to clone the central repository as well as all of the submodule, including the nested submodule as well. So this particular command will clone everything. So right now, I'm going to change back to this directory, and then I'm going to remove the central first using this command. After that, right now, I'm going to use this git clone recurse submodule. It means that I'm going to clone the central repository as well as the submodule recursively. So it means that you also clone the nested submodule and everything. Okay, so I'm going to paste it. So you can see right now this command is actually doing what we are doing just now. First is cloning the central repository. After that, it is initializing the local configuration file using this. You can see these two, and then is cloning the library 1 and also cloning into the library 2. After that is checking out this particular commit. Okay, so right now I'm going to change to a central directory and change to lib1. If you do git log right now, you can see that the head pointer is actually not pointing to the master branch. Okay, it's actually pointing towards this particular commit, because this is how the submodule works. Okay, it's checking out the particular commit. Like in this central repository, right, you can see that it's tracking this particular commit, and for library 2, it's tracking this particular commit. So when you clone it, it will check out this particular commit. Okay, is not pointing towards the branch. So if you want to make some commit on top of this commit, what you can do is that you can use the git checkout master branch. After that, you can continue to make the commit on top of this commit so that your commit that you make will be tracked by the branch. Your head won't be in a detached head state. Okay,